Tonight, we're going back 57 years to Tokyo, Japan, when Uncle Rick met the YAKUZA. I'd been in Vietnam for 10 months. It was October of 1967. I'd been a combat infantryman and had been in action all that time. I had to wait 10 months to get my first out-of-country R&R, rest and recuperation. A time when each soldier got a week to go to some Asian sin spa, usually, and try and get drunk as possible and try and get laid as much as possible. I chose the more conservative Tokyo because my Uncle Jim worked there. Ironically, as it turned out, he wasn't there at the time that I went. But he had left instructions with the corporation that he worked with, and some of the young executives helped me to be able to have a good time there. But not the first night. While we were getting ready to leave Vietnam to go to Tokyo, I ran into an old buddy of mine from boot camp, Louie. And we decided to try and kind of hang out together and go and do Tokyo on the buddy system and keep an eye on each other and so forth. And so, very happy to have a partner in a strange land. But the first night we got there, and we had both had heard about the Ginza. Now the Ginza is a long strip, a long, it uses a highway and a footpath, but it has all kinds of amusements and related stuff all the way down it with tons and tons of lights, really neon up. It's where they have games and lots of bars, of course, and so forth. And we had both heard about it and decided we should go to the Ginza and see what happens. And so we did. And as we strolled, we went all the way down as far as we could go on it and started coming back. And we'd go to places and we'd hang around for a drink or two and see if that felt like the right spot. And if it didn't, we'd move on. And we did that for several hours. And as we got down further down the Ginza, our standards and so forth started to diminish, directly related to how much booze we'd put down. And so just on the shot, we decided, we saw this one place that had some kind of advertisement that appealed to us, and we went upstairs, and we were really pretty drunk. In fact, we were really, really drunk by that time. And the people in there, well, they didn't seem overly friendly. The whores, or the prostitutes, or the ladies of the evening, or sex workers, were used the same come-on that they'd used to us on the ship in Okinawa, when we got to Okinawa, when I went across there. They entice you and say all kinds of dirty things and have you buy them a drink, which was, 5 times more than your drink, and try and get as many of them for you to buy them. And then after you were even drunker in drinking for yourself, then they take off. Well, we finally got to that point where Louie and I found a couple of hookers that were both quite older than us, And I was had just turned 19, and I think Louie was about the same. And so we went out to catch a cab to go back to our hotel, which was directly across, on the moat, across from the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. And we went outside, and I put my hand up to catch a cab, and the girls spoke, "Oh, no, 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 we got car." And so we waited. It was a little while. Excuse me. And up drives this big black limo. And driving the limo is a cat that looked exactly like Odd Job in the James Bond movie. And he, no neck, huge guy, muscle bound, big black limo with Odd Job driving. Now, we were really drunk, but we were both soldiers. Louis wasn't a combat soldier like I had been, but he still had same training. And yeah, wait a minute, you know what? And, oh no, come on, we give you to save us money and so forth, you know. So we piled in the back of this limo, and we started again. We were really drunk. We weren't just drunk; we were really drunk, both of us, both me and Louis, both. And these girls, we were driving and they were small talking us and chatting, and then every once in a while, you know, Odd Job would check us out in the mirror, and the girls would say something in Japanese to each other and try not to be noticed by us. So what happened was, as we turned on the main drag to go down to the Hotel Fairmonto, the Fairmont Hotel, where we both had rooms at, the girls kind of give each other a little sign that I picked up on, and both of them had big beehive hairdos because it was that era, in 1967. So they both had big hair, and just in a flash, the one sitting next to me pulled out a hat pin or a hairpin, you know, a sharp pin about that long. It was all of her hairdo, all of her beehive. It was camouflaged in there. She pulled it out like this and tried to shove it into my ear. And I saw it coming, and I went like that. And it went ping when it went through the headliner and hit the metal roof. And I go, "Louie," and he was wrestling with his girl on the other side, and she tried to do the same thing to him, but he stopped it too. And so, and out of instinct, I grabbed a hold of the girl's head and flipped the door open and pushed her across the front of me like that so that her head was down on the pavement. In the meantime, Odd Job stopping the car, you know, and I take her head and shove it right down on the asphalt. And I go, "Fairmonto," like that. You know, I was really, really drunk, but I'd been in a been in a war for 10 months. The first night out of a war in 10 months. You try and kill me, I'll kill you. And so, but again, you know, then we all laughed about it. It was all funny. We were so drunk we didn't really register that they'd both really tried to kill us by sticking a hat pin in our fucking ear. A big hat pin. So we get down to he starts up again. I pull her head back up. Nobody got hurt. You know, I didn't scrape her face or punch her or do anything like that. You know, the way may have been warranted with her trying to kill me by sticking a hat pin in my ear. We get down to the hotel, and Louis was freaked out and got out right away, and I still, it was part of the soldier in me that I still wanted to fight. I wanted to fight both of the women and Oddjob for trying to kill me. And as soon as we brought the whores into the lobby, they go, "Oh, no, 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 no prostitute, no hooker," whatever it was what that they said, that you couldn't have hookers in that hotel. And of course, they knew that before they even they asked what hotel we were in, and they weren't going to be allowed in there. They weren't going to do, "Well, you come with us, we go to a new place in private." And I was so drunk and so angry, in a way, that I said, "Okay, I'll go with you all, and we'll see who comes back." And so, and Oddjob's really really watching me close. He was obviously their bodyguard from the YAKUZA. And so, which I didn't even know what that was at that time. It was organized crime in Japan. And so, my friend Louis goes, "No, no, you can't go." And he called after arguing with me a little bit about it, because I had my dander up. I'm used to attacking and counterattacking and shooting and killing and all of that. And fuck you, if you try and kill me, I'll kill you. And so what happened was Louis got on the phone and called up his dad, who was, of course, stone sober in Santa Barbara. And he begged me to talk to his dad. And of course, I loved and respected Louis. And I knew his dad would be a good guy. And he was. Talked long distance on his dime from Japan to Santa Barbara and talked me out of going. And that was how I met the YAKUZA in Tokyo in October of 1967. Hat pins. Would have never guessed it. God bless you all. Good night.